After finishing part 1 of Chainsaw Man, one of the most striking scenes that sticks to my memory is one that appears at first glance to have not much plot significance at all. It's the scene where Denji and Makima go to the theaters and sit through a series of bad movies together, unmoved, until at last, Denji begins inexplicably breaking down and turns to see that Makima is crying too, her hair down at the most vulnerable we've ever seen her. At first, I thought it was a quiet, poignant moment designed to showcase the power of cinema since Fujimoto himself is a movie buff. The full weight of the scene didn't hit me until I finished reading Chainsaw Man Part 1's final pages. And then it clicked. What made them both cry? They were crying because they were watching two people hugging on screen, and it's this seemingly casual gesture that they crave the most. You see, beneath all the tragedy and absurd comedy that fills Chainsaw Man lies a very basic human need, to be hugged. It's this core desire that drives characters like Power, Denji, Pochita, and even Makima, because in the end, even devils and fiends want to be loved. For instance, let's first take a look at Power. She starts off as a very selfish fiend who eats any living creature she comes across. That is, until she meets Myuu, a cat too skinny for her to eat. However, in the process of trying to plump him up to eat him, she discovers that he's nice and warm to hold. Even Denji experiences personal discovery. At first, he saw Power as an opportunity to squeeze some boobs. However, after living with her in somewhat normalcy, their relationship shifts into something more like friendship or a makeshift family. Through this, Denji comes to the realization that there are different forms of intimacy and different ways to be close to someone other than the naughty stuff, as he puts it. Sure, Denji can easily be dismissed as a horny teenager who loves boobs, and surface level, you'd be right on that. However, at the root of his character is a neglected and abused child who craves the love he never had. His father was abusive, and we know next to nothing about his mother at this point. She's presumably been out of the picture for a long time, and Denji wishes to fill that void. In one commentary, Fujimoto goes on to explain that Denji is always pursuing maternal things. We see this in his obsession with boobs, getting a girlfriend, or getting a hug from a girl before he dies. All of these are a part of his misplaced desire for a surrogate mother figure. This is why when he's collapsing from blood loss after his first battle as Chainsaw Man, his first instinct is to ask to be held, and Makima immediately rushes in to catch him. I thought this was a calculative gesture at first, that she was preying on and exploiting Denji's mommy issues so she could use him. She's a master manipulator and the control devil after all. She could easily feign attentiveness and intimacy. However, after reading the final chapter, I believe there was some actual genuineness to her affection, albeit they were directed at his Chainsaw Man heart. Poor Denji reaches the same conclusion. Out of loneliness, Makima sought someone she could see as an equal, and that person was Chainsaw Man. However, the real tragedy is that she didn't recognize that Chainsaw Man desired the same. That's why he befriended Denji. He was feared by all other devils, and yet this lonely boy took him in and hugged him. Denji had made his dreams come true, and now it's Denji's turn to pay it forward and offer the control devil's reincarnation a second chance to grow up loved so that she doesn't become as ruthless as Makima. You see, in the end, even though Chainsaw Man is a story about devils and fiends, and no matter how bleak the story seems to get, there's still an incredible humanness to it. It's about broken and lonely people exploring personal relationships and seeking out makeshift families together. And that's what makes the story so compelling.